Good evening, I'm Stephanie Seacos. It's Wednesday, April 15th. This is CTV News at 11:30. Tonight, deadly training exercise. 2 members of the Navy are facing charges stemming from the death of a fellow sailor. Then milk money. The cost of the fridge staple is soaring. Why Maritimers are being hit especially hard. And later, digital detox. Some American restaurants are banning cell phones. Could the same happen here?
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Stephanie Seacos.
Thanks for joining us. Bruce Frisco is off tonight. Military police have laid charges following the death of a Royal Canadian Navy sailor in Halifax last year. Petty Officer 2nd Class Gregory Applin died after a vessel capsized during a training exercise. The 38-year-old sailor was on board a rigid inflatable boat similar to this one in the Bedford Basin. According to the Department of National Defense, the vessel capsized in freezing conditions during a training exercise. Applin and another sailor were pulled from the water and taken to hospital, where Applin later died. 2 members of the Royal Canadian Navy are now facing charges. Master Sailor David Terry, who was serving on HMCS Montreal at the time of the alleged offense, is charged with criminal negligence causing bodily harm and negligent performance of military duties. Sailor First Class Alexandre Garrison faces a charge of dangerous operation of a conveyance causing death, along with negligent performance of military duties. In a statement, Royal Canadian Navy officials said, "We are also extremely mindful that an incident like this almost never results from a single cause or single error, and it is most likely the outcome of a combination of factors." The Department of National Defense says the case will now go through an independent legal process within the military justice system in the coming months. 5 people accused in a conspiracy to commit murder case appeared this morning in a Moncton courtroom. 1 woman and 4 men were charged last fall with conspiracy to commit the murder of Silvio Saunier. He's the son of Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier, who were shot and killed in their Dieppe home in 2019. Jansen Baker, Nicholas Bain, Jesse Logue, Christopher Lennon, and Monique Boyer all face charges. Baker was recently found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Bernard and Rosemarie. All 5 had their matters adjourned until next month. 1 person is dead and another is in hospital following a highway collision earlier this week in New Brunswick. The crash is thought to have happened when a driver swerved to avoid a moose. As CTV's Avery McRae reports, it happened on the stretch of road without wildlife fencing.
Hundreds of cars drive up and down New Brunswick's Highway 7 every day. While the road connecting St. John and Fredericton is well worn, it doesn't mean drivers are always comfortable behind the wheel.
7's a really scary highway, especially at night.
On Monday night, just before 8:30, Grand Bay Westfield RCMP responded to a 2-vehicle collision on Highway 7. The accident was believed to be caused when the southbound vehicle swerved to avoid a moose, striking the northbound car head-on, resulting in the death of a 31-year-old man. The driver of the southbound vehicle was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries.
The southbound driver does remain in hospital getting care for some serious injuries.
Are they still in serious condition, or would you say they're in stable condition now?
What we can say right now is they still have serious injuries and they're still receiving care.
The section of road where the accident occurred did not have wildlife fencing. This is the 2nd serious moose-related accident on the highway in the past 5 months, after a couple from St. John struck a moose on another section of the highway where the fencing was down.
It makes me very hesitant about driving the highways, especially around dusk.
The lack of fencing isn't exclusive to this stretch of road. Pam Hoban just did a road trip around the province.
All kinds of signs for moose everywhere. Every probably 10 or 15 minutes you would see a sign, but as far as moose fencing, it was very intermittent throughout the province.
While few are against the idea of more fencing, resident Tanya Bishop says the problem is getting someone to maintain it.
The fences are falling down, the trees are on it, so everything's down. Nobody wants to own it, nobody wants to maintain it. which is just causing more of an issue with everything.
According to a New Brunswick Department of Transportation and Infrastructure spokesperson, around 331 kilometers of provincial highways do have fencing and are constantly monitoring the roads to see where more fencing may be needed. Ava McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Police in Pictou County are investigating a string of very particular thefts from a cemetery. Officers are looking for whoever broke off and stole multiple metal vases from the top of headstones at a cemetery on Alma Road in Sylvester. More than 60 of the ornaments have been ripped off in the past few weeks. Staff say they weren't removed for maintenance. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. With the price of fuel right now, you'd think gas stations would be raking it in. Instead, Nova Scotia retailers insist they're operating on the edge. And as CTV's Callum Smith reports, the euphoria of a tax break will be short-lived around here.
As receipts print out at the gas station come Monday, a line will be missing.
It's going to be about a $4 to $8 savings for the average Canadian every fill up.
While diesel will only see a 4 cent a litre reduction, gas will be 10 cents cheaper, following Ottawa's plan to temporarily cut the federal fuel tax. But it could partially be cancelled out as the 3 cent a litre increase for the summer blend kicks in tomorrow in the Maritimes. But
that may not be an implicit 3 cent a litre difference, because, again, if the wholesale price of gasoline declines following oil today, that will likely offset any potential increase from happening.
Suffice to say, many factors at play, all concerning to the Retail Gasoline Dealers Association, who represents over 100 independent stations in Nova Scotia. So much so, they've asked the Energy Board for an emergency interim change to retail margins from the current 5 to 10 cents per litre.
The cost of fuel is going up, their visa fees go up, and their wages go up, their power bill goes up. All of the cost of operating a business continues to increase, and while that's increasing, it's taking out of their margin, and there's no mechanism in place right now to increase that margin.
Also calling for a wider review of the entire retail margin structure. All factors, she says, leading some stations to consider closing their doors.
Gas is a terrible business to be in right now, so we are trying to help them so that it is a sustainable business. No business model should not be able to make a profit on its own.
Back to motorists, the summer forecast for gas may be tougher than ever to say, depending on what happens next with the war.
So a pretty wide range, almost a potential range of $1 a liter this summer. Best outcome, mid-dollar a liter range. Worst outcome, well, we could see mid-$2 a liter range if things really escalate.
Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Another expensive staple causing concern for Maritimers, milk prices. New numbers show our region has some of the highest prices of milk in the country. Here's CTV's Ryan McDonald.
Walk into the Glace Bay Food Bank these days and you'll get milk, but chances are it'll be in a can.
They would love to have, the cold milk, but unfortunately that price is just outrageous.
Milk prices have gone up 5.5% since 2024, according to this year's Canadian Milk Report. Here at the food bank, it's perhaps little surprise that has impacted donations.
People aren't coming in with cases of product anymore. They do still donate, but it's a bag here and there. It's not cases at all.
It's just the sign of the times.
That's coming from a man who for more than a decade has spearheaded a powdered milk drive each fall in his home community. In recent years, Mickey's Milk Drive has been bolstered by big annual donations from a dairy farmer in Prince Edward Island, but even that has been scaled back a bit.
The first couple of years, they gave us a free pallet of milk, which was around $3,000. And then last year, because of the enormous amount of people that are looking for donations, they had to cut it to half a pallet of milk.
The consumer research company behind the report that visited 180 stores across the country to come up with its numbers says the price hikes are among the worst here in the Maritimes.
Anywhere from 7 to 31% higher than the national average.
As for whether there might be any relief in sight, Jeff Doucette says that sometimes competition causes price to come down a bit in the short term.
But I've never seen milk prices actually drop from survey to survey. And like I said, we've been doing this for since 2014.
Back at the Glace Bay Food Bank, the coordinator figures these cans will likely run out by September or October. She says that could mean a plea to the public around that time, adding that for now, client registrations continue to go up.
We're seeing the working class now. We're seeing our working class.
Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Still to come tonight, we'll have your full maritime weather forecast. But up next, copper concerns.
There is an issue of people crossing provincial boundaries to sell in one province what they've stolen in another.
The growing concerns over the theft of copper wire in the Maritimes and why the Senate is now chiming in. That story is after the break.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. We're getting you all decked out with Kent. You can win $2,000 in brand new patio furniture and decor.
Enter once an hour at our website, move100halifax.ca.
Copper theft has become so frequent and so damaging, it has even wiped out communications to entire communities. The problem is so bad, the Canadian Senate has chimed in, insisting it's time for a fix. Here's CTV's Nick Moore.
The Senate report is titled Stolen Signal and says copper theft is far more than an inconvenience, but a pressing public safety threat across Canada, including this region.
It's a little outside the box for the Senate Transport and Communications Committee to look at a criminal law problem, but because copper wire theft has such a devastating impact on communications infrastructure across the country, we wanted to take a moment to see what we could bring to an understanding of why this was such a problem.
The report, released this week, takes from testimony presented in late 2024, where telecommunications and utility officials made a push for more action.
Despite years of mitigation efforts, copper theft remains persistent, fueled by high copper prices.
It's only become a bigger problem since then. Bell Canada, which is the owner of CTV, says copper theft affecting its infrastructure went up by about 30% last year, and that 2026 has already seen a series of coordinated incidents that happened in January, followed more recently with stolen copper causing communication outages in the Fredericton area. In Nova Scotia, the RCMP are investigating several copper theft incidents from last week that were reported across Cumberland County. The Senate report says the federal government needs to do more to create a national strategy.
There is an issue of people crossing provincial boundaries to sell in one province what they've stolen in another. And so it's really important that provinces have some form of coordination.
The Senate report is calling for provinces and territories to beef up regulations on the sale of copper, along with changes to Canada's criminal code. Bill C-14, which could create tougher penalties for crimes that involve critical infrastructure, passed through the House of Commons in February and is currently working its way through the Senate. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
A former nightclub in Moncton is now the home of a health facility. And a recent expansion will help produce more healthcare workers to help with the demand in the province. CTV's Derek Haggett has more.
A $3 million expansion project should go a long way to strengthening New Brunswick's healthcare workforce. Olden College in Moncton has opened a dedicated health services campus with state-of-the-art training spaces that have the capacity for over 500 nursing students. The health minister says when professionals train in the province, it increases the likelihood they'll stay here.
We're still shy of a number of healthcare providers, and so this is huge. This is probably one of the more exciting parts of our time in government. We want to support our healthcare workers. To do that, we need to have more of them so that they're comfortable in their workplace.
The new Elmwood Health Campus will provide a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, as well as practical nursing and paramedic programs.
We need more health professional, and so we will be able to have a registered nurse coming from this college in the New Brunswick system in a really near future.
The college is located in what used to be a number of bars and nightclubs in years past.
You know, that's exactly what I was remembering when I visited the facility back in June 2025, and I was not completely sure if it was a bar here. Using the facility now to be able to train people, having bachelor offers, and different courses, it's amazing.
The simulation labs mirror real-world environments, allowing students to gain experience in hospital-like settings. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your full maritime weather forecast. But first, it was a bit of a dreary night in Halifax with some drizzle continuing. Coming up, Kaylin will tell us when we'll finally see some sunshine. Stay with us. Welcome back. Meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell joins us now with your maritime weather forecast. And it's been kind of miserable out there tonight.
Yeah, certainly some gloomy spring weather in place around the Maritimes. It's going to extend into tomorrow as well, accompanying the cloudy sky over the Maritimes, some drizzle and some fog around the region. We're stuck right now in the presence of this sort of stalled out weather front that's extending through southern Ontario, southern Quebec, the northeastern United States, and straight on in towards the Maritime region. A number of low pressure systems running up and along that front, and every once in a while when one of those lows passes by us, that's when we get into another round of some April rain and showers. And speaking of showers, starting the day tomorrow in the southwest of Nova Scotia with a round of showers moving through. Again, other parts of the Maritimes cloudy with some patchy drizzle and fog. Thursday afternoon remains mostly cloudy for the region, and Thursday evening we'll see another round of rain move in, first arriving into northern and western areas of New Brunswick, but then spreading northwest to southeast across the Maritimes as we make our way through Thursday night and into Friday morning. The good news here is that in behind this round of rain, after it clears the Maritimes, which will take through the day on Friday for parts of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, there's a bit of a gradual clearing trend into the start of the weekend where we can expect some fairer weather conditions, mostly a mix of sun and cloud. In the meantime, though, rainfall amounts approximately over the next 24 hours or so. In a lot of cases in the Maritimes won't be much more than around a few millimeters. They'll possibly up to around 10 in the northwest of New Brunswick, and maybe some rainfall amounts approaching 5 millimeters in the southwest of Nova Scotia. That would be with those showers that move through tomorrow morning. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast, they'll be out of the southeast on Thursday, sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. Low temperatures in the forecast for the region tonight, mostly around the low to mid-single digits. High temperatures in the north of New Brunswick for tomorrow, between 6 and 11 degrees. Coolest beginning around Campbellton, Dalhousie, and then extending across through Bathurst, the Acadian Peninsula, as well as for the communities in Quebec on the Gaspé Peninsula for our viewers there. Down through central and southern areas of New Brunswick. High temperatures tomorrow, mostly between 8 and 12 degrees. For Prince Edward Island on Thursday, the high temperatures between 7 and 11. And for Cape Breton tomorrow, the high temperatures between 5 and 8 degrees. On the north shore of Nova Scotia, the high temperatures mostly between 9 and 11. A little bit cooler around the eastern shore of Nova Scotia. There near the coast, most of the highs near 4 to 7 degrees. 10 for Amherst for tomorrow, 11 for Truro, and 7 for the city centers Halifax and Dartmouth. The Annapolis Valley with high temperatures near 11, and on the south shore of Nova Scotia in the southwest, mostly between 8 and 10. Taking a look at the 7-day outlook on Friday for New Brunswick, chance of showers in the morning, followed by some gradual clearing that continues into Saturday, looking like a very nice day. Rain returns then on Sunday. It's followed by a chance of showers on Monday of next week. Chilly on Tuesday with a mix of sun and cloud, and Wednesday a mix of sun and cloud. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, showers expected on Friday, followed by a mix of sun and cloud, highs in the low teens, except cooler on parts of the coast and in Cape Breton on Saturday. Those areas with high temperatures, mostly around the high single digits. Rain arriving late in the day on Sunday, followed by showers in the forecast for Monday, then a mix of sun and cloud Tuesday and Wednesday. And Prince Edward Island with a nice start to the upcoming weekend. A mix of sun and cloud on Saturday, highs near 10 degrees, 12 on Sunday. Rain expected to arrive, though, Sunday night, finishing as showers on Monday. It's then a little bit chillier for Tuesday of next week, with both Tuesday and Wednesday right now looking like a mix of sun and cloud. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. We'll take a short break now. Much more to come tonight on CTV News at 11:30. Stay with us.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Bars and restaurants where you lock your phone away have started to pop up around the United States. But is this something we could ever see here in the Maritimes? CTV's Emma Convey dials in to the conversation.
This restaurant in Halifax dishes out everything from comfort food to East Coast staples. They love being a meeting place for their customers.
I would love for them not to use their phones because I want people to connect with each other when they're sitting down having food. So I prefer if I don't see it, but again, in this day and age, everything's on the phone.
That's not to say they would ban cell phone use altogether, a practice some restaurants in the United States are trying out, where customers are asked to lock them away before entering.
A lot of our people are super against it, with their kids using it while we're all having dinner. So for that reason, I think there might be some places that will imply that, but I don't think it's going to be super, it's not going to take over the industry.
This etiquette expert explains cell phones are not part of the play setting. It's rude to use them while dining.
Basically, you're saying this, whatever is on my telephone or my tablet, my iPad is more important than you that is here with me.
The digital detox isn't happening in Nova Scotia, at least yet.
We haven't seen any restaurants that are doing even like a phone-free hour or shutting down phones completely. I think where restaurants are struggling, they're certainly not going to be giving people a reason that they don't want to go out.
Some places have taken measures to prevent prolonged stays.
We've heard of restaurants or cafes that limit the amount of time people are staying if they're going to work, particularly if they're taking up space and not purchasing more food.
Whatever the case, restaurants are encouraged to give their customers a heads up.
And if a restaurant chose to ban it, I don't think that's a problem, but I probably wouldn't go to that restaurant.
But Nova Scotia diners won't have to worry anytime soon, since it's not even on the table here. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Time now for one last break. Coming up next, your wake-up weather for Thursday. But first, here's a live look at Antigonish, where it is a chilly 4 degrees right now. Kaylin will be back to break down the morning forecast when we come back. Stay with us. Time now for one final look at the forecast. Kaylin is back now with your wake-up weather for Thursday, and it's looking like another drizzly day.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a cloudy and damp start to the day around the Maritimes. Lots of fog and drizzle around first thing in the morning. A round of showers passing through southwestern areas of Nova Scotia. And we don't really get free and clear of the cloudy conditions for Thursday afternoon. It's going to be a pretty gray day, and even during the afternoon hours, I expect there will be some patchy drizzle around the Maritime region, with the highest chance of drizzle around coastal areas. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. Finally for us tonight, recognition for those who helped raise close to $1 million for women's health in the Maritimes.
We know that women's health matters. We know changes need to happen, and we know that change cannot wait.
Sponsors of the 2024 Orchid Gala, which included CTV, were honored at the IWK Health Center. The gala raised more than $800,000 to purchase specialized equipment for the IWK's gynecology department.
The IWK, they spent every cent, and it's made a huge difference. It's helped women who normally would have been on a longer waiting list going into the operating rooms. They're now going into recovery rooms because of these new pieces of equipment, and that's helped alleviate that list, and it's also helped the IWK get to people who need to be in the OR suites.
Since the Orchid Women's Health Initiative's first event in 2023, the group has raised more than $3 million. That money has also helped fund a pelvic health suite in Dartmouth and a new robot for the QE2 to help with gynecological cancer surgeries. And that will do it for us tonight. A reminder, if you joined us late or would like another look at any of our stories, you can always visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's your home for news. From all of us here tonight, thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.